Hello everybody! This is the episode that I have been dreading because this is the one application on Haiku that I really don't get along with. Icon-o-Matic. Now, first of all, an icon in Haiku is not a separate little PNG file, or JPEG, or GIF, or whatever. An icon in Haiku is part of the file itself. And you can add an icon to any file in Haiku, not just an executable. It's something that we've inherited from early Mac OS design, from even before Mac OS 10. And a little bit of a history lesson. Back in the BeOS days, it came with an application called Icon-o-Matic. And it was a little bitmap editor. It was incredibly easy to use. Really, a 5-year-old could learn to use it. And as a result, people did. And there were dozens of collections of icons that people had made. Those are still available on BeShare, and I've also got them, I think most of them, up on my website. Have a look down in the description. And it's important to note that those still work. You can still use those old bitmap icons, even today, in Haiku. But a bitmap has a problem. Now, a bitmap, say, a grid, say 64 by 64, right? And each of those 3,600 little dots has a color on it. What happens if you now change its size to 128 by 128? Then it becomes fuzzy. And so, in Haiku, this was changed. They came up with a unique file format, HVIF, which is a vector format. And I'll go on record in saying that this is really a better solution. It is. Because vector formats are tiny. And you can squeeze them together or stretch them apart without losing any of that fine detail. Because in a vector format, it doesn't put if you want to draw a line, it doesn't put, black dot, black dot, black dot, black dot, black dot. No, it says draw a line from here to there, and then leaves it to the system to decide how to do that. So, yeah, it's a better solution. The problem is that when they came with the new Icon-o-Matic, which you will find here, now part of this is me. I am terrible at vector drawing applications. It doesn't work the way my mind works, okay? But there are no primitives here. Right. If you want to draw a square, you have to draw it line by line by line by line. There's no shortcut here that I can find that says draw a square. So, if you are like me and you found the instructions on the Haiku website and you still cannot get along with this particular program, how do you find an icon? Well, as I said, first of all, you can still use the old bitmap icons, they still work. Or you can say, I am going to take a shortcut, because there is a vector format that this thing will load up, and that is SVG. And there are a lot of SVGs available for download on the web. So here is one website, for example, with 500,000 SVGs on it. I've downloaded this one. It's a little car, little cartoon car, and I want to use that as my icon. Okay, I've already downloaded it. There it is. So I now say open with Icon-o-Matic. And this is my file. Okay, that's a little text file, but don't worry. Let's pretend that that is a program that I wrote. Okay, because it doesn't really matter. You can tie that icon to any file. So as you can see, doesn't need editing. It fills up the whole thing very nicely. Now some SVGs are going to work better than others. You know, I've learned just download 5 or 6 and see which one works best with Icon-o-Matic. Right, and we're going to export this. And first we're going to drag my program in there, and then we're going to say BeOS icon attribute. That's what we want to export it as. So this is a bit scary, because it's going to say, can I overwrite your file? And you think, oh, all the work I've done to that file. But no, don't worry about it. It's only actually going to recreate your file with the icon. Okay. Little scary moment, but okay. And there it is. You can now see that this little icon has been added. Alright, we look at the file type. There. That is now the new icon for that file. Of course, if you want to be a little bit more original and not use a ready-made icon, the other way to do it is with Wonderbrush. And Wonderbrush is a native application. It's a little bit of a weird program. It can't make up its mind whether it's a bitmap or a vector program, but never mind, it can save in SVG format, and it does have primitives. You can make a circle, a square, a rectangle. You can even do text on it, right, which this program does not have. Now these pre-made icons will probably get you into trouble, because Haiku actually has very strict regulations for what icons are allowed to be used. You know, so go have a look at those guidelines. You know, they would want something a little bit more slanted with a little bit of a shadow, etc. But at the very least, this will give you something to get started with. And so, I'll be honest, I have never managed to get something with Icon-o-Matic starting from scratch. You know, I just have the Icon-o-Matic, I have the instructions next to it, and I try to follow it, and nothing comes out. It's me, okay? But consider this. As I said, there were dozens of the little bitmap collections. I made one myself. There's a collection called More People Icons, which I had a couple of hundred people icons in there, in bitmap format. So since we've now started with this, how many collections of vector icons are there on the repositories? I think there might be one floating around, and those are mostly, you know, the standard default icons that that come with the system anyway, if I remember correctly. But it is a much more difficult process unless you are already very aware of how to work with these things. So, as far as I'm concerned, I take the easy way out. I just find a nice looking SVG, import it, export it, done. So, okay, I'm going to get a lot of angry remarks about this in the comments, I'm sure. But this is the one part of Haiku that does not work for me. Thanks for watching.